Hey, this is the handicapped hero, Gregory Iron, and you are listening to This Is Awesome Wrestling Show.
Produced by the Cleveland Sound Radio Network, here is the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, hosted by Glenn Moore and Steve Guy.
Broadcasting about 9 miles away from the heart of urine bombs and feces and water bottles, and people get arrested for burning the flag. We are the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, broadcasting in beautiful Lakewood, Ohio, a stone's throw away from Cleveland. And if you're not in politics, we're not going to be talking politics, but it is relevant because we are in a bunker because the world might end the way things are going in downtown Cleveland with people being arrested and protesting.
They're not going that bad.
It's not that bad. Not yet, but we are in Cleveland, and we are broadcasting live, like I said, a stone's throw away from downtown Cleveland. We talking wrestling here for the next probably hour. We got a lot to get into, but there is a connection with WWE and not This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, but WWE and the RNC. Because, well, one, you have former CEO, chairman of the board, chairman of WWE, Linda McMahon, in town here in Cleveland, making the rounds of the RNC. Of course, she had a couple of times running for Senate, which failed and cost Vince a lot of money for her failed attempts to get in the Senate. But she is here in Cleveland making the rounds. She's part of the Republican Rules Committee.
She popped up on my Tinder.
My God. First of all, Steve, what is your age range if Linda McMahon popped up on your Twitter? Are you going from like 18 to like, what, 70?
It was 18 to whatever the Linda McMahon range is. That's what, like, that was a choice.
You're just going,
I chose Linda McMahon range.
Spectrum is just very, very wide. Kudos to you for accepting the older generation.
She's on my, she showed up on my Cougar app. Yeah, well, those, right? I'm on Ashley Madison.
More like James Madison.
Ooh, political joke.
There you go. But also, there's another connection with WWE and the RNC, and the good old state of Connecticut, Steve.
Yeah. So every year, or every 4 years, I guess it would be, when they go to officially nominate who their candidate is in each party, they do this thing called roll call, and they tell you how the delegates chose, and then everybody gets to brag about their state for a moment. And yesterday, today being Wednesday, and Tuesday that happened, and the gentleman from Connecticut said, where we manufacture Pez, nuclear submarines, and the home of the WWE, where men are men and the women are champions.
Which, I mean, if you're bragging about let's be honest, we both love wrestling, but if your state has to brag about being the home of professional wrestling in this day and age, well, your state's very small too. So I mean, they could have said
small state. Actually, two kind of cool things there when you think about it from our childhood. They bragged about WWE, and it's the home where they manufacture Pez.
I was never a big Pez fan.
No, not a Pez fan.
No,
I wasn't a big fan of the Pez dispensers, but I loved the little candies.
Never got into either.
Oh yeah, because they looked like drugs, but they tasted good.
Never got into that state.
I don't mean like illegal drugs. I mean like the stuff your parents used to make you take, but you're like, oh, this is candy.
I took Flintstone vitamins. Those
are delicious.
Amazing.
Only allowed to have one, those sons of bitches.
You always sneak in a couple. Couple purple ones. They sneak them in. But yeah, the WWE, some connection with the RNC here in Cleveland.
Yeah, on international television. Good for them.
And another connection, well, a Cleveland connection, but also RNC and WWE. Dolph Ziggler will be a correspondent for for a show. What show is that? It's like a
Kennedy
show.
She used to be on MTV. I don't know what she's on now.
So I think it's MSNBC, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. But Ziggler is here in Cleveland.
That's Universal, which owns USA and all that. Yeah.
So he's going to be a correspondent, probably spinning it a little, trying to be funny.
Well,
we love Dolph, but his comedic talent is...
he should be fine for that. Well, and another spin to WWE.
Whoa, wow.
The most obvious one when you think about it.
Okay.
the Republican candidate for president is a WWE Hall of Famer and Donald Trump.
It's true. You know what? If you're a wrestling fan and that doesn't get you the vote for him, then I don't know what will. But we're not gonna really show our views for him as a political candidate. But I mean, yeah, he was involved in the WrestleMania storyline. He's a Hall of Famer.
Clotheslined Vince McMahon.
Took a stunner from Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah,
a really bad stunner, but hey, still took a stunner. You're right. He is a WWE Hall of Famer, and hey, he's could be president here in a good state of America.
Even helped host one of the first few WrestleManias.
That's true.
In Atlantic City, right?
Yeah, Trump Plaza, whatever.
Yeah.
Casino. Yeah. That's way back in the day.
Right.
So he has a connection with WWE. His entrance at the RNC on what I think it was Monday night.
Yeah.
It was very WWE-like.
It was.
With Undertaker or DX, with whoever you want to mix songs.
Should have been, yeah.
There. But yeah, so there's a lot of connections with the RNC. I don't want to make people bored with talking about it because I know people don't want to talk about politics that much.
But it's kind of neat.
It is. A lot of connections.
That's some mainstream action for WWE right there.
It is. But I doubt in WWE there's been people throwing urine bombs at other people. There has been slop buckets.
Well, somebody did get crap dropped on them. Edge and Lita, right? Remember that?
Yeah, so Vince and Shane had crap on them, right?
Yeah.
With DX and Spirit
didn't
Squad.
Stone Cold come and shoot out the manure thing too, or something?
Yeah, something.
Or
Vince,
the sewage truck or something.
One thing about Vince, he loves a good poop joke.
He really does.
He loves poop satire. So he would probably give a good laugh. Feces and water bottles. He probably loved it. All right, we got a lot of stuff to get into with a draft taking place this week. It took place last night on Tuesday. The GMs were named on Monday. Let's talk about that really first, right off the bat. Daniel Bryan, I'm not sure if you and I talked about it. Did we talk about it last week a little bit? Daniel Bryan being named SmackDown GM?
We did talk about
Speculated?
it. Yeah, we speculated. That's one of the names I even threw out there.
Yeah, then Mick Foley is a GM of Raw. So, I
think that those are two names that came up, but not together.
No, not together. Especially with Foley, with a good guy like Foley, with a heel Stephanie.
Yeah.
Kind of makes it awkward a little bit. It was kind of cringeworthy watching these two interact like on the fly.
Yeah.
It was kind of Stephanie loves to hog the mic when she can. She loves to say what she wants.
Right.
Goes off script a lot. But I'm not overly thrilled about these two GMs right off the bat.
I think Mick Foley's a good choice. People love him.
I love Mick.
And he's done it. He's done it before, and he's good at interacting with these guys.
He was commissioner for.
Well, right. It was commissioner at the time, but I mean, he's ran the show before, and I don't know. He's the right guy for the job right now. When you decide to do this, and you're not scrambling, but somewhat when you think about who's it going to be, who could it be. Makes a good, obvious choice. This doesn't mean he has to do it forever. It's great to get it going. People are always going to love to tune in to see Mick Foley, and so that's fine. It's fine. Daniel Bryan, the obvious choice for...
I don't like it.
People just going, yes. The problem with Daniel Bryan right now is, what's more over, the show of SmackDown or Daniel Bryan? Is everybody chance yes? Like last night, you watched Dean Ambrose win the title, but everybody's doing the yes chance because Daniel Bryan's out there. Nobody gave two shits that Dean Ambrose won. It's because Daniel Bryan's out there celebrating SmackDown.
Which is great for Daniel Bryan and, bringing awareness to SmackDown. But, geez, you just had a guy retain his WWE championship.
Yeah.
And the main event of the first, televised live show of SmackDown in a very, very long time. But everybody's doing yes because Daniel Bryan. You're right. No one gave two shits about Ambrose winning. They just wanted to do the yes chant.
Clean win too.
Yeah, it was a great match. The ending was terrific. But dude, Daniel Bryan, we talked about this before. I love him as a wrestler, but personality wise, doesn't seem like he's not a suit. He's not an authority figure. He's a guy that is anti-authority. So him being the authority figure of SmackDown, it just looks awkward.
So I was thinking that too, and I thought, how is this going to occur? Because I've always said Daniel Bryan, his charisma he's got one word. But then last night after SmackDown ended, I got into watching the CWC finally.
Okay.
and he is the commentator on there. And I got to tell you, not a bad job. That's his first opportunity to really do a lot of speaking, a lot of, hey, this is on you. You need to show up your personality, and you need to talk. I'm like, all right, this is, if it's within his wheelhouse and he's comfortable, I think, and he knows it's what he's going to do, he might be all right. It'll be interesting. I'm not saying it's a great pick, or it's a great pick in the sense that it's going to get fans excited that want to see Daniel Bryan,
which is the most important thing.
Is it a long-term great pick? Because I didn't ever necessarily have confidence and wasn't very high on what his personality was in wrestling. I don't know, but after watching CWC and listening to him on there, I'm intrigued.
The one thing about like a authority role when it comes to, quote unquote, the guy booking the show and making decisions, because we all know that at least Shane on SmackDown, he won't always be there every week.
Right.
So Daniel Bryan's going to be the one in storylines and making decisions, on camera. He just, when you have someone like that, he shouldn't be more over than the talent. And when he is in storylines, he's going to be the one getting more reaction. Whether he's out there with a bad guy or a good guy, people are going to be doing the yes chant. Do you want that when you're trying to put over actual working talent over
and that's what makes it tough. Right.
It's going to be tough. And even like backstage, is he a believable, like when I think of a smaller guy like Eric Bischoff, who wasn't, a skilled worker in the ring, but he was a heel. He was a bad guy. He wanted to choke his throat because
he was an ass.
He was more of a talker, and he loved to push your button. But when you have a authority guy that's a wrestler, like Mick Foley is a big guy. Other authority figures, Triple H is a big guy.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan looks like your neighbor that grows vegetables. Is like more of a farmer type. He's not intimidating as an authority figure. Even John Laurinaitis, he has a physical presence. Daniel Bryan, it looks awkward. It looks like, we left a little brother to be in charge of the household when Big Brother's gone.
Yeah, and to your point, him being not like Eric Bischoff being smaller. The point was Eric Bischoff was a weasel. He was like that boss. He's that boss that we all had, where it's like, oh great, I can't really do anything about it because I'll lose my job. But I'm just gonna let him keep being a dick. And so I mean, I see your point. It's valid.
I'm digging very, very deep on this because I mean, obviously it's more about the talent than the GM, but still, it's very questionable when it comes to like his personality and whatnot. So let's get to the actual draft.
Well, what I was gonna say real quick before we get the only thing where that does serve a great purpose is the GMs don't have to be out there the entire time,
right?
But they are out there to make like those statement matches real quick where guys are arguing back and forth. And then, he comes out. Remember, like how Teddy Long used to do.
Yeah.
Play, come out, and he makes that quick match. Hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do this right now. In those kind of moments, you could go with the yes chant.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
As long as he's not... As long as that's how it's being done, I guess. All right.
And going to the draft now, you have... We're not going to break down the picks because obviously this is a scripted show. This is a scripted draft.
What?
We don't care about the rankings and who got drafted where and above who because that stuff doesn't really matter when it gets to when they get to the bottom like 10 of each show. It's just filling guys. But right off the bat, any surprises, Steve, when it comes to people getting drafted to a brand or kind of different pairs. Obviously, big news one was Finn being drafted to Raw, but it wasn't a surprise because we kind of knew that he was going to get drafted.
Yeah, just a surprise at how early, I guess.
But any surprises when it comes to picks, really quick before we kind of dissect just our overall feelings about this.
Surprised that Bayley was not drafted.
Okay.
But I do think that she still somehow shows up and is Sasha's partner.
Yeah.
In the pay-per-view, and she's automatically on one of the shows.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, not really. I don't know that they split everything up well. I guess the one surprise was that they put Braun Strowman on Raw, and he's not with the Wyatt family.
But you still have Bray Wyatt on Raw.
No, Bray Wyatt's on SmackDown with Rowan.
Okay, so I mean, Braun...
That's because you haven't really done anything with him by himself. Right, Eric Rowan, we've seen him go off by himself and
Yeah.
then came back to the Wyatt family. Braun Strowman, he's only been ever a part of the Wyatt family.
Well, and when Luke Harper, when he comes back, he'll probably go to Raw then and team up with them. But we really, and he was drafted so low anyway. He was kind of let's like he wasn't billed as someone that's going to get a major push probably. Because I mean, take a look at the bottom, maybe 8 people. Summer Rae isn't a top player. Mark Henry, end of his career. You have Braun Strowman. You have Bo Dallas, who isn't really featured. The Shining Star is not featured. Alicia Fox, when was the last time she was on TV?
Right.
Dana Brooke was low, and she's a major part of being with Charlotte. And then you have Curtis Axel, who, like, with the Social Outcast, hasn't really done it. So I mean, he's mixed in with people that aren't featured that much. So maybe he will be slowly pushed on main event or Superstars, wherever the tapings they do before Raw, and then throw in some just obscure storyline, not even storyline, just obscure matches to be maybe enhanced. But I don't see him being a feature act. I
was a little surprised that they split up the club already, as they're devoting so much time to them. I thought, I mean, I get it. I definitely foresee those guys joining with Finn Balor on Raw, and Finn maybe needs that help.
Yeah, he definitely needs help.
But would it have been more fun to have all 4 of them?
I think you save it, dude. Why do that now? Save it. Tease it tease it as much as you can. Because if you blow your wad right now, what's the fun of teasing it for the next 4 or 5 months leading up to some big showdown or big reunion down the road? Why waste it now? Then you waste it, then you can't use it later.
Yeah,
I think reuniting Finn with Gallows and Anderson could be fun. I think Finn needs backup or be in a group because Finn is not very strong on the mic to talk about himself. But and Finn, is he the demon? Is he going to be Finn can he paint? Do that paint job every single Raw, like when he wrestles? I mean, that whole demon thing was like, it's cool, but he does it like once every other month when they did the show.
Yeah, it's just from essentially what were the NXT pay-per-views.
But I'm saying people, when he's not doing the paint thing, he looks like a generic character from WWE 2K.
Yeah.
People recognize him as the demon. So if that's your most recognizable attire, so to speak,
he's got to become something.
Do that?
With the club, I think that's the answer, and that'd be the most fun for them too. But it just surprised me because at this point there'd been no talk about Finn ever being a part of it.
Yeah.
Because he was a face. So it just, I don't know. It seemed odd to me.
And how they going to introduce Finn on Raw? I mean, that's the thing too.
Yeah,
he might not even want to be with the club. Maybe he'll be solo, and they'll try to do him solo for a bit.
Which is why I thought it was odd. I thought they'd stick with the club and throw them over to SmackDown and continue them feuding with John Cena.
And of course, there could be trades, and we're talking about a scripted show that it could be quote unquote trades or back and forth. So I mean, anything can happen. But
I was surprised that Carmella got brought up, but not actually. I mean, I think I was surprised because she didn't come up and they didn't pair her into the same show as with Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
But I was more surprised that Nia Jax came up. Were you or no?
She is excellent.
I mean, she's got it together, and she's huge for a woman.
What are you trying?
Like muscular.
Oh.
She is a better Tamina Snuka.
Definitely.
Right? She's got the stature. She's tall. She's built like a brick house, but she can.
I think she's attractive.
She can move and do everything.
Yeah.
So you like those thick girls, I know.
To a point. With I don't know
the muscle. You like the muscle. You like the meat on the bone.
Maybe not all the time, but those Samoan ladies, they're
the Samoan ladies.
They're built well.
All right.
Well.
But I think I was just because of how new she was, maybe still in the NXT, and I thought that she was somebody that could help them carry, continue to carry NXT. Like she wasn't down there too long yet, and she could still afford to be down there a little bit longer and help them build the next grouping of girls.
There's plenty of girls still can be down there.
I mean, who's left from that female division. I guess Bayley at the moment, we don't know what's going to happen with her. Asuka, but she's newer. And then what? Then where do you go from there?
Doesn't Jasmine getting some time, and you have Amber Moon?
But those are all still pretty new girls.
Yeah,
and she's Nia Jax is like that. She is the newest of the main characters that they work around.
Hey, she is groomed. She's Samoan. She has that blood in her. She is groomed for greatness. When it comes to WWE, that really surprised me on Raw. I mean, she's going to be probably competing for the title, but she's more of a bad guy too. So will be interesting. But my take, obviously, cruiserweights will be on Raw,
right?
So you're going to have some of the guys in the Cruiserweight Classic be with Raw, and then Raw seems to be more tag team heavy when it comes to the top tier tag teams. So they're more of the tag team show as well. While SmackDown is less when it comes to strength of tag teams, a little bit less.
Yeah.
And the question we brought up, how are they going to do the tag team championship? Why can't SmackDown tag teams compete for what is the point of competing if you're on SmackDown? You're a tag team. There's no championship to fight for.
Right.
And then you have
and same with the women.
Yeah. Like what is the point? Like are they going to have some kind of They're going to have to make a championship tag team or make these go back and forth. Like it's going to be interesting to see how they do it, because in the end, I think once that Battleground comes to pass, I think we'll get an answer on separate champions for each show.
Yeah, and
then you'll have your IC title on one show, United States, maybe a cruiserweight championship will come back. Then you have your women's, for both shows probably, and you have a world champion and a WWE champion. You're probably going to have that, but the whole point of being in a WWE, if you're a wrestler, is to fight for a championship. When you have a championship to fight for, what is the point?
Right. No, I absolutely agree, and that's the one thing that we have not we haven't had the answer to just yet. And I think this cruiserweight division, as they talk about it, there's not a ton of guys necessarily that they drafted on Raw. It's like, I mean, you have a cruiserweight division, but what are you going to have? There's 3 guys, I think, on there as we look that you could put in.
Yeah.
So clearly, this is not the end of it for anybody who's thinking, oh, this is everyone they're going to roll with. There's no way.
Right.
I mean, there's other people.
And you're going to have
Luke Harper's not on it.
Yeah, you're going to have some of these, ladies and men not be on TV every week. Especially the lower part. Some of these won't even be on TV, and just have to see. I mean, I think it's truly like with any draft, even when I cover NFL and NBA drafts, I hate talking about drafts because you like to give them a couple years to see before you give them a final grade. When it comes to wrestling, same thing. You have to give it a couple of months to see how it pans out, because this is new to them. It hasn't been a draft in a few years. Completely, different format when it comes to drafting these two rosters, and people can get hurt, people can still get call-ups. I mean, this is a scripted show. Things can change, and they can do whatever they want ultimately. But I think it's a good start.
And as I look through the draft right now, again, proving point even more with the cruiserweight division is, I mean, right now I think you've got Finn Balor, Neville, and Kalisto, and that's at the top of my head. I think about size. That's everybody that they drafted.
I'm surprised they didn't.
I'm sorry, Sin Cara is there.
I'm surprised they didn't, when we talked about news. What past WWE superstar would like to see him be drafted? Like Tajiri and all these other, JTG. Who else was mentioned from the past that were going to be possibly be drafted?
Yeah, I don't even remember.
I mean, but guys like that were
MVP was thrown out.
Yeah,
there.
guys like that old time people weren't even. This is all current.
Yeah,
which is kind of surprising. And those be free agents, or will they have a competition between the two brands, or where they want to sign? I mean, the one thing that turned me off from wrestling way back when they first started the draft was the bickering between the two brands. I hated the whole Raw versus SmackDown angle that they did. In the whole cup, when they have 5 versus 5 Survivor Series style for a damn cup, that turned me off, and made me stop watching wrestling for a while because of this. So, I mean, obviously I'm going to watch, but the bickering is already upsetting me. I hate the bickering between two brands. Oh, we're better. No, Raw is always going to be supreme over SmackDown. I hate the bickering, especially with Stephanie. It's just annoying.
Well, I think what you really want to see is them actually separate for a while. After Battleground, SummerSlam will be a joint show, but it's going to be probably things within...
Less about competition between two brands and more about their own show.
Right. And then so we really won't see the brands go head-to-head until Survivor Series. And I think that's what I want. I want until that point, I want to see these shows separate themselves as single shows. The bickering is fun when it gets to a point where you can think of them as actually two brands, and in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, okay, these are both WWE, but in the sense that, like, okay, these are two totally different things.
Yeah.
That's when maybe you guys all of a sudden, especially if there's only one title, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden a guy shows up on over there and is like, well, I think I deserve that title, blah, blah, or something. You can manufacture stuff. But yes, I agree with you. I think you have to have it at first because you're trying to build up the credibility and you're trying to make everybody believe in the fact that this is going to be legitimate, these are going to be separate, and they're going to want it. But the competition that I want to see is that I'm going to watch SmackDown and I'm going to watch Raw, and I'm like, yeah, these guys on this show really are trying to outdo these guys on this show.
Yeah, it's just a matter of establishing themselves on their own, have their own separate pay-per-views for a little bit, which I think hasn't been announced, but I mean, it
was discussed at one point, yeah.
And then having maybe unique setups, the stage setups, maybe. I mean,
sure.
And
will the blue ropes again? Will those be back?
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I want to see separate. I don't want to see the same set, but just different graphics.
Well, we have the blue SmackDown referee shirts again.
Did they do that? Did it happen?
No, will they?
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Why not? Why not bring some of those old?
Yeah.
Bring it back. Another change, a big change.
Kurt Hawkins is going there?
Yeah, he is the best tag team champion on SmackDown ever, right? The announce team has changed up.
Yeah, that was late last night they mentioned that. Very
surprising when it comes to the announce team. On Raw, you're going to have Corey Graves getting the call-up to be on Raw with Michael Cole and Byron Saxton.
Yeah.
And then on SmackDown, you're going to have Morrow and JBL and David Otunga, which means good old buddy of mine, Jerry Lawler, is now moved to pre-show for the pay-per-views and I think for are they going to have pre-shows for SmackDown?
Oh, that's a good question.
Maybe
they didn't used to,
right? Because obviously,
but now that it's live, maybe
Jerry will have to spend Monday, Tuesday up in Connecticut or Orlando, where they where they do the live show for the pre-show before Raw goes on or SmackDown goes on the air. But Jerry has moved off the announce table, and I'm disappointed because I'm obviously a big Lawler fan, and I love his commentary, but I'm not a fan of his, I'm a good guy, Lawler. I'm a fan of his heel stuff.
Yeah.
And I just thought, he was just starting to get in his groove, back to being a heel.
Right.
He can still be the heel on the pre-show, but it's just not the same. And, dude, Lawler has been on announce team since what? He had a little hiatus back in 2001.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's been on for a long time.
But, dude, that's my childhood voice.
I mean, the advantage for Jerry probably as a person, Jerry's not getting any younger.
Don't tell him that.
Yeah, but
he'll pull the strap down on you.
But it's less travel for him.
Well,
you'll know. Is this going to be an advantage for him? He doesn't have to travel as much. He's going to the same spot every week. He's going to go to Connecticut, and he gets to go home, with the exception of if there's a pay-per-view, he's got to go to the pre-show for that. Maybe that's nice.
Listen, Jerry wrestles on the weekend. He still does conventions, art shows. He's very busy. He travels a lot.
Yeah.
So he's always on the road on every weekend.
Does this make it easier?
I mean, he does get bummed when he's not as featured. Obviously, he's Jerry Lawler. I say he's not a fan of live shows. He wasn't a fan of being on Raw for 3 hours sitting there. He loved the being there for an hour and a half for SmackDown. He tape, leave.
Right.
He didn't, he was kind of over the whole live aspect. So SmackDown and Raw going, live, I mean,
yeah, I mean,
he cannot be a fan of that, but.
And you haven't talked to him completely about this the whole thing yet. So maybe you talk to him. Who knows? Hopefully, this is a mutual decision.
I don't think it is, but
I am excited for Corey Graves. This is something I talked about last week. I did think that
fan.
he would
I'm
become a part of the announce team.
Not a fan of his announcing.
I like him. I like it. He is. I tell you what, Corey Graves is more of a heel character than JBL, which then poses my next question to you: if they are going heel, one's a heel and one's a face. What do you do with JBL and Otunga? All you've ever known either of them as, for the most part, is a heel, right?
Otunga will be a face.
He's always been a heel, though, when you think about it.
Yeah, but this is you're announcing. I mean,
right? The only thing I could say, I didn't pay attention and notice on Raw this past week, and maybe last week too. JBL did start to side in a more of a face manner. Because he even was saying some stuff about Dean Ambrose.
He goes back and forth because he will suck off John Cena.
Yeah,
but then he will.
He sure will.
He will go.
Oh, that's big game, John.
But then he will absolutely hate Dean Ambrose. Like it doesn't. There's no consistency there between hating bad guys or hating the good guy. Like he just goes off, and of course, Vince is in his ear saying this stuff. But dude, I'm just. We talked about before. Commentary is a huge thing with me when it comes to watching a product. Otunga is awful.
It helps make the show.
Otunga's awful. Saxton is awful. JBL is tolerable. Cole is going to be there no matter what. So no matter how you feel about him, Cole is going to be there till the day he dies. And Morrow, I'm Morrow. I'm not like oh my god, Morrow's the greatest. Like no,
but I enjoy. Morrow doesn't take
his voice. Just
he doesn't
annoys
take anything away from the match though.
Bring back JR.
You know what I mean? Like Morrow doesn't.
No, Morrow is very knowledgeable. He calls the moves, calls it like it is.
Yeah.
He's not like Cole, who is pimping random shit during the match.
Lets the match breathe when it needs to.
But Morrow's voice just irks me.
He's got an interesting voice.
Is there an accent? Is there an accent with that?
I don't know. He's Canadian.
Maybe that's why I don't like him. I just don't like Canadians.
But I don't know if he's like French Canadian or anything. But it's an interesting voice. I'm Mauro Ranallo.
It's just I don't like it.
You're on SmackDown.
Yeah, that. I don't like that over like the fake.
Well, tonight on SmackDown, Dean Ambrose and Mauro Ranallo here.
We're just spoiled with JR and Heel King.
And you know what it is? You've been watching a lot of TNA lately, and you're really into that Josh Matthews and the Pope calling the matches. That's what it is.
Now, when you say it like that, God bless Morrow for being with WWE because it could be a hell of a lot worse with Josh Matthews and the Pope.
Yeah, who you like better, Corey Graves chiming
Corey
in,
Graves,
okay?
But when you have Jerry Lawler, I mean, this end of an era, man. It's just end of an era.
Yeah,
I'm bummed, man. I'm bummed. I love Jerry, but I'm sad. I need a minute.
Okay. I mean, it would come to an end at some point. Can't go on forever. All good things must come to an end. The Cleveland Cavaliers and Cleveland sports couldn't lose forever.
He almost gave his life.
Yeah.
For the company. He was dead. He's zombie Jerry Lawler right now. You're gonna piss off a zombie? he was dead for 20 minutes. What constitutes you as a zombie? You come back from the dead. He was dead. 20 minutes.
Well, yeah.
You would think at the 10-minute mark, this guy's dead. Okay, he's dead. But 10 minutes later, he's back alive. I'm just kidding. No, it's just sad.
It's going to be okay, Glenn. He's going to continue to wrestle in Memphis and other places.
I know. But wasn't it kind of weird?
Cartoons.
Okay, I'll be honest. I tweeted out from the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show Twitter account at TIA Wrestling.
You did what?
SmackDown spoilers, rest in peace, 1999.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
Now, because of that, I didn't really watch a lot of SmackDown unless something cool happened. I read the spoilers on Tuesday night.
Right.
But for watching it for the SmackDown for a full show, like in a very, very long time, first time, was it weird that at around like the 9 when Ambrose and Rollins came out, like at 9:30, I was like, man, they're putting this title match beginning of the last hour. I'm like, wow, like something big's going to happen at 11 o'clock because they're putting the title match at 10.
Because of how early it starts.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, this is the main event. SmackDown's 2 hours. I'm like so used to Raw being 3 that I thought it was another hour, and I'm like, oh, it's over.
Yes, that is always interesting when that happens.
That's
that's what's funny too. To your point, even when SmackDown was taped, if there was something awesome, I'm like, oh yeah, I think I want to watch that. Let me make sure I tune into SmackDown.
Yeah, and
then I would tune in thinking it's going to be on at like the 10 o'clock hour, and you tune in at 9:45, and it's the very end. And you're like, oh, son of a bitch, I missed the whole thing. Yeah, absolutely. I get it.
Little scheduling. We're going to have to schedule our shows to record on Wednesday now, like today.
Hey, you'll still have Thursday night TNA spoilers.
That's true. We will have and we have NXT spoilers too
with Brother Nero. I will say this about Jerry. At one point last night, they were talking about where everybody's getting drafted, and Byron Saxton said, "What about the announcers? We don't know where we're going to go." And Mauro Ranallo said, "Well, I'll just be happy to be employed."
Yeah.
And then everybody kind of chuckled, and then I find out the announce team's changed and Jerry Lawler's gone. I was like, oh, man, I wonder if he knew it when he made that joke.
I'm sure he knew for a while. Hey, Jerry's in Florida right now vacationing with his very beautiful fiance.
So I think he's okay.
I think he's okay.
I think he's going to be all right.
I think he's living a dream.
I think he's going to be just fine.
I think he's going to be okay.
Don't worry.
I think he's going to be A-okay. But still,
he's going to have to console you rather than you console him.
He's going to call me and be like, why the hell are you upset about it? Who cares?
Quit crying.
Who cares? What?
Puppies.
Now, other news. We talked about the draft. We dissected it. We want to see how it goes. We talked about RNC, WWE connections, and we talked about other big news when it comes to wrestling, and that is the alleged, because it hasn't really officially come out, right? Is it? Well, UFC put it out, right? That Brock Lesnar has failed a drug test, and
two of them.
Now, well, the one that reported about on this
prior
fight,
to the show,
the one that is being out there speculated is the one that he failed on the day of the fight. And it's the same substance or supplement as John Jones, allegedly, that made Lesnar fail. Now, I'm not going to get into the logistics of it because, obviously it's, hey, did he fail or did he pass? He obviously failed. Does this have a repercussions when it comes to WWE and his wrestling career? Or if he's banned from UFC for 2 years, he's going to be sitting very, very pretty in WWE. I mean, does this have any kind of effect on his WWE status?
Well, the one thing it could have an effect on, I don't remember what his contract was for in WWE, the length of time. Mm-hmm. If he gets banned for 2 years from UFC, he is not going to have the weight in negotiating that he did for the lucrative deal that he got in WWE last time around.
Right.
Because there was competition for him. Now, again, he's Brock Lesnar. He could just say, piss on you, I'm going to walk away. I really don't care.
Yeah.
But he wanted to make some good money, and he could have made it in either place. He chose WWE because it was a little bit more. So he's not going to be able to have that anymore. So I think that's the impact it has. We talked about beforehand, he may not be able to perform in the state of New York.
Yeah, I mean, that's not
commissions, but
because there's a New York law. New York is like
it's a gaming commission.
It's like Nevada,
right?
It's it's like
Jersey as well. I think is similar to that kind of thing.
But, and with Brooklyn SummerSlam, but you were mentioning how
there is an appeal system.
That whole process is going to drag out.
Just like if anybody's familiar with baseball, for example.
Yeah.
A guy, let's say a starting pitcher gets suspended. All of a sudden, you drag out the appeals process. Oh, look, he gets to start, and then he sits out like the next day or something.
Yeah, so he'll be for SummerSlam, but I mean, still, it's not. And everybody was like at WWE saying like, oh, why is it if he got popped in UFC, how come he didn't get popped at popped at WWE? Well, there's in a wellness policy, only people get tested for drugs and whatnot are full-time wrestlers.
Right.
The part-timers that are there randomly, they don't get tested. And WWE did say that Brock Lesnar last competed for WWE at WrestleMania in March or April, and he has not been on TV or competed since. So you have that there because he hasn't competed. He hasn't been tested recently, but Lesnar has failed the drug test. So I mean, if he does come back from WWE, he's officially a part-timer. But if he's a part-timer,
He still doesn't have to get tested.
but he got drafted as a full-timer.
Yeah, I don't understand why he was in the draft.
So we're gonna see how this plays out when it comes to WWE. But I'm sure they are paying him a lot of money. They're not going to suspend him or get rid of him if they don't have to. So
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if he was last-minute part of the draft because they realized he's going to be on the show a little bit more because he won't be participating in UFC.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true. But will he be in every Raw? Highly doubtful.
No, I doubt that. But then again, anybody listed isn't going to be on every Raw either.
No, I know, but I'm saying, I'm talking about physically being at the arena.
Yeah,
he won't
right,
be.
right.
He won't. Like he won't be there every single show.
He would have been. I was surprised actually when we were talking about surprised people being drafted. That did surprise me because I thought that's the guy you do a free agent storyline with,
Yeah,
right? That everybody wants and everybody fights for.
and they'll probably be Undertaker once he gets back. You know, WrestleMania season rolls around.
Yeah, I think
Possibly.
he just gets to pick whoever he wants to wrestle.
Okay, he can do whatever he wants. He's a dead man, right?
It's John Cena.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out in the draft and with Lesnar and with Reigns coming back too on Raw. I mean, you have two guys who dope up on the same show.
That's the Doper Show.
A doper show. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch this draft pan out, and I'm sure we'll be covering it very, very, very close when it comes to draft and whatnot. But let's
Tonight
get into
on ESPN 30 for 30, it's back-to-back. First, Doc and Daryl. Second, Brock and Roman.
let's get into what's going to be transpiring here in Cleveland on Friday, July 22nd. Absolution,
This Friday.
Absolution 11 coming here to Cleveland.
Pow.
And don't worry, RNC will be out of here in time.
Thank goodness.
So you're not worried about that.
This is it, man. This is the
WrestleMania.
This is what it's been. Yeah, this is the WrestleMania
No Vader this year, though.
but you know what? Still pulling out some awesome stops. I mean, if you're watching the CWC, you have Cedric Alexander, who had an amazing match last week.
Yeah.
Zack Sabre Jr. is back. We've watched him. That's going to be fun. Who else? Johnny Gargano, of course, will be there in a tag match.
EC3
taking
will
on
be there.
EC3 and Katrina from Lucha Underground. So there's some fun in store here. Oh yeah.
No Vader, though.
No. Instead of Vader, though, you do have Dutch Mantell,
No one compares to Vader.
a.k.a. Zeb Coulter, going to be there.
Yeah, Zeb will be there. I think he's coming tomorrow for RNC stuff. That's what he tweeted.
Zeb, yeah, he's already going to be in town.
But I think that's just kayfabe.
He loves the RNC.
That's kayfabe. But
No, he'll be here.
doubt it.
He's going to be marching in protest. He's probably carrying an
Highly.
open weapon right now.
Come on, Steve. Wrestling's
Dutch
fake.
Mantell, that's what he's going to do. How about this? Here's what inquiring minds want to know, Glenn
Steve,
Moore.
you're acting like AIW is paying you to do this.
This is what, you're going to be.
AIW is
I
not
will be ring announcing. You will be doing some commentary.
AIW is not a paid sponsor, too, just to throw it out there, people.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this. Will you come out from behind the commentary table? Are you Frankie Flynn's mystery tag team partner? Is it you, Glenn Moore?
I would not be teaming up with that little squirt. With my life depend
Is it
on.
Glenn Moore, Frankie Flynn taking on the dude?
I can
and
confirm.
BJ Whitmer?
I can confirm it is not Glenn Moore stepping into the ring. I am not trained at all.
I mean, it's a good sized shadow next to Frankie. That could be you.
If I was going to have my debut match, it would not be against the Duke and BJ Whitmer because they would initiate me into the wrestling business very, very harshly, knowing those two, and I would not come to the aid of Frankie Flynn. So yeah, you're going to have a surprise tag team partner. We don't even know who it is.
No.
We have no clue who this is. It's been hush hush for the past month since What's in the Basement Klopek. But yeah, the great event on Friday. And we will have some This Is Awesome Wrestling Show T-shirts to hand out. We have a box.
Yeah,
hand out.
to
No, we're
Oh,
selling
my.
them. We're selling them $20 a pop for T-shirts. We have 10 available. We have medium, large, extra larges. No, yeah.
Yeah, we got extra large.
We have one double XL for you, Justin, that we are selling at a marked out price for you, buddy.
Our intern price.
And we will have shirts for sale. Come up to Steve and I. We can accept credit card. I have my Square device for my phone.
Yeah.
So even if you say, "Oh, we don't have cash," sorry, I can whip it out and dude, we'll take credit card.
Don't whip it out, Glenn.
Whip
Easy.
it out.
It's a family show.
Whip it out and slide it in.
Oh my.
The card, it is. And we cash as well. So we will have shirts available. They look really, really nice. Pictures are on our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter feeds. We want to check them out. And we will have more designs, and we will have more T-shirts. If you're not in the Cleveland area, not on Friday, you can buy the T-shirt online, ProWrestlingTees. Just go to the podcast section, look for my name, Glenn Moore, and the This Is Awesome Wrestling shirt is available on there to buy online, and they can ship it out to your house at a very cheap cost. So
I'll tell you who's a Pro Wrestling Tees. It's Linda McMahon. She's all up in my Cougar app on the phone right now here in town for RNC.
Pro Wrestling Tees. You should start a dating website for pro wrestlers, pro wrestling fans. Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Maybe
yeah.
The PWTs.
It's all the female wrestlers that you can't get because you're a nerd. No,
nerd.
That's not nice. Just kidding.
Anything else, Steve, before we wrap this up? Pushing an hour here.
Well, I think it's time to get to the awesome finish, Glenn.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the awesome finish.
Yeah. What do you think? All right. This week, Glenn, you are going to be very happy with my awesome finish.
All right.
I really should have found a way to reword that, but I apologize. The awesome finish this week, the big F5, goes to none other than social media socialite Kim Kardashian.
Oh.
If you've been following pop culture,
Porn star,
you know that Kanye West wrote a song, and in it he talks about Taylor Swift and refers to her as that bitch. Well, it turns out that he had a phone call with Taylor, put her on there, and Kim recorded it on video with her phone. It's out for the world to see. And Kanye tells Taylor that he's going to mention her in the song. So Kim tries to do this to make everybody feel crappy towards Taylor. But in Taylor Swift's defense, at no point in time during that conversation did Kanye West say he was going to refer to one Taylor Swift as that bitch. And Kim Kardashian is acting like that portion is no big deal, which to me, I would think that kind of changes the meaning of lyrics pretty well. So Kim Kardashian, for being oblivious and just riding your man all time, and not worrying about anybody else, and I don't know, just being you. You get the F5 this week. My awesome finish. Not the first time Kim Kardashian's received an awesome finish, though.
F5! Picked up the pain! The F5 connects! The F5 connects!
All right, my awesome finish stays right here in Cleveland and goes for all the protesters out there who are throwing urine bombs and preparing themselves to throw feces and water bottles and urinating in water bottles. There's a story here I heard on the police scanner that there were 15 urine bottles ready for being thrown in a parking garage in Cleveland. So my awesome finish goes out to all those protesters who can't just protest in peace. They have to resort to being animals and flinging their own feces and urine at police officers. And if you know what? It's not going to be Vader giving a Vader bomb. It's going to be the Cleveland Police Force giving a Vader bomb to these folks because they have been doing an amazing job handling all the pressures of large crowds downtown. And kudos to them for keeping the peace best they can. And, hey, we haven't had that much big of a fights here or any kind of travesties or tragedies here in Cleveland just yet, and we are Wednesday. So kudos to the Cleveland Police Force. They are giving a Vader bomb to the feces-throwing, urine-slinging son of a guns. That's going to wrap it up for this week's This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, episode number 93 in the books. We are creeping closer and closer to episode 100, Steve.
Any notable athletes wear number 93?
Don't think so.
Yeah, nobody pops up in my head. I feel like there was a guy for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But nobody Cleveland. 92, I missed my tribute to Michael Dean Perry. I'm going to throw this out there.
John Randall were number 93?
Yes, you're right.
I don't think so.
If this show gets out Thursday during the day and you're listening to it Thursday and you are in Cleveland, that means there is one more day left of the RNC all over television. If you get a This Is Awesome Wrestling Show sign on national TV, I will give you a t-shirt.
If you bring a sign to AIW, all right, and this is a This Is Awesome Wrestling Show theme sign,
yeah,
and if there's multiple, we will pick the best one there, and we will give a t-shirt out. And there has to be more than a couple. It can't just be one person with a sign. If there's multiple,
it's got to be a contest.
We're going to pick a winner, and we'll give a free shirt out to you. So there's many ways to get a free This Is Awesome Wrestling Show t-shirt.
That's right.
Bring a sign.
Get us on CNN or Fox News, any of those things during the RNC for Thursday. We're hoping this is out before then.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. Bring the sign to the show. Now, this being said, if you are at the show, we decide, yes, you're going to win, you get a t-shirt, we don't have a t-shirt in your size, don't worry, we will get you one. Yeah.
We're going to have plenty of t-shirts to sell in the coming months for AIW. But, if you are listening to this, make a sign, bring it to AIW, or get us on TV. And if there's multiple people bringing signs, we'll pick a very best one and give a free t-shirt out to that person, courtesy of This Is Awesome Wrestling Show.
You got it.
And we'll sign your t-shirt too.
If you want.
We'll sign a tag, maybe.
On the inside.
Yeah. We'll do something nice for you. We'll take a photo with you.
Yeah, there you go. Let's
post
just do
on
that.
Your social media. And I will retweet it. Steve will too.
That's right. And Scott Steiner will give you a gift certificate from Shoney's.
Probably not. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week. Enjoy AIW on Friday if you're here in Cleveland. Say hello to Steve and I if you see us at the show. Also, make sure to check out our iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Libsyn. Subscribe, rate, leave a comment. We truly appreciate it. And we'll talk to you guys next week. See ya.